Hi guys, can everyone hear me? I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna scooch down a little bit. I connected my fancy camera, but it seems like it's not connecting. So we will just use my computer camera for the moment, and that is totally fine. It's so good to see you guys. Thank you for the comment here about my sweater. I appreciate that. It's actually a sweater dress that I got a million years ago. And Jacob has always liked when I wear it. So I have kept it through many decluttering sessions. I hope everyone is having a lovely Wednesday. It is December. It is the season of holidays. We just finished Hanukkah. And you guys are all looking forward to Christmas. I'm enjoying the Christmas spirit. We've got Christmas music playing in the background. Last year, I don't know if you remember, Jacob bought me a record player, but the record player is also a radio. So I turn on the radio and like have it just on the Christmas station all the time. That's just kind of my favorite thing. And I haven't watched any Christmas movies yet. So that's actually something we're going to be talking about. That's one of the questions that I got for today's video, for today's live stream Q&A. I'm so glad to see you all here. Yes, Hanukkah was great. We were lighting candles. I'm like gesturing to the menorah. It's over there. And Jacob and I recorded a podcast about it. And we went to our synagogue and we celebrated with our rabbi. It was really nice. But you know, it's a great time of year. We're all so happy. Actually, I literally just finished recording my gift guide. I know it's kind of late, but it's going up next week. So maybe there'll be some things in there, classic girls guide to gifts that you hadn't thought of. Someone's talking about Flintstones Christmas Carol. Not seen it. But speaking of a Christmas Carol, thank you so much to all of my premium Substack subscribers for being here and for submitting questions. One of the perks of being one of my Substack subscribers is that you get to be part of the book club. And the book we are reading for book club is A Christmas Carol. So that is going to be next week on Wednesday. We're going to do our book club discussion on A Christmas Carol. And I'm really looking forward to it. Our book club discussions are always fantastic. Can we see your menorah? I would say yes, but I'm sort of boxed in here with my setup. So I can't really get up and grab it. But maybe I'll post a picture of it on Instagram. So yeah. Oh, I'm glad that people want to see my gift guide. It should be good. And I think you guys are gonna like it because I have some unique ideas. I generally like to do things that are a little different than the norm. But let's get into some questions. If you want to submit questions for future live stream Q&As, make sure to subscribe to my Substack newsletter or get it as a gift subscription for someone if you think they would appreciate it. So yeah, thank you guys for those sweet wishes for the baby. He's good. He's been kicking a lot. And I've definitely, I have a bump now, which is really cool. I'm just loving being pregnant. I'm loving this whole experience. And it's so funny because the first trimester goes so slowly, and then the rest of the pregnancy seems to feel like it's going so fast. So I just feel like things have been flying. And that's the best. I mean, it's like, you think 9 months is so long. It's almost a full year, but it's just, it doesn't feel that long because week to week. I mean, I am 25 weeks today and baby is doing really well. And it's just so exciting. So, okay, let's get into these questions. So the first question that I got is, what are the most expensive things when it comes to pregnancy and birth? I would expect it to be something like hospital bills and nursery furniture. So obviously, I don't know as much about birth because I haven't done that yet. But I do know that hospital bills can be expensive, even with insurance, just because you're in a hospital. So that's an expensive thing. What doesn't need to be expensive, but can be expensive is all the rest of this stuff. You can choose to spend more money on a fancier crib or on a fancier bassinet or on a fancier rocking chair, but you don't have to. So this is something I think is really important to know and think about is we all view having a baby as super expensive. I get that, and it's fair. Having a baby isn't cheap. But I also don't want it to be a deterrent for people that having a baby is so expensive because people have been having babies for generations, right? For like millennia. So there are things that like are nice to have and that you can splurge on, but you don't have to. Someone was mentioning thrift stores. Absolutely. That's where I think that's pretty much the only place that we've gotten clothes so far, or from friends who are giving us their hand-me-downs. We've bought maybe a few things like onesies, but you don't even have to do that. You can get everything from consignment stores and thrift stores. You can get a ton of baby stuff like strollers. You can get the fanciest stroller, which is like $1,000, or you can get a cheaper stroller. So whatever you can afford, you'll make it work. People, number one, people want to help you, family, friends, they want to help you. That's why they're baby registries. And second of all, you can find cheaper alternatives for everything. You can get the $500 car seat, or you can get the $100 car seat. And that's something that Jacob and I have definitely been seeing, is that we could choose the most expensive things or we don't have to. And having a baby, the most important thing about having a baby is having a baby. Like that is the most important thing. Don't let anything else deter you. If that is like, there's never a good enough time. There's never going to be enough money in the bank. There's never going to be that perfect moment. So when you want a baby and you can have a baby, do it. So thank God, Jacob and I are in a good place. And I hope that answers your question. There are very expensive things. You could get I would say that for me, I think that the first things that stood out to me as like expensive were stroller, glider, and what else? Really the stroller and the glider. Like those two things seem to me to be like expensive. People are talking about diapers. Yes, diapers are expensive. And you can do things like diaper registries where people can pay for your diapers. You can do something called a diaper raffle at your baby shower where people will like bring a box of diapers and that will equal one raffle ticket. Yes, but diapers can be expensive, especially right now with all of the shipping issues. That is also a very good point. So yeah. If you guys have questions, I see some of you guys have questions. Make sure to subscribe to my Substack so you can submit them for live stream Q&As like this. I really do answer 90% of the questions that come through there. So I would love it if you guys would consider subscribing so that you can take those. I can take those relationship questions for the people who are asking. Let's see. Sometimes I'll answer some like small questions from you guys here. So someone was asking if I've thought about cloth diapers. I've thought about it. I don't think that's what we're going to do. Cloth diapering is a big investment at the front, and then it's supposedly less over time, but it is also such a huge investment of time and energy that I don't know that that's going to be a good fit for us. But anyone else who does it, that's fantastic. Okay. Someone's asking, what is Substack? Substack is my newsletter that comes to your inbox twice a month, or rather twice a week, way more than twice a month, twice a week. And you'll get a ton of exclusive content and you're supporting my channel so that I can continue to do stuff here. Okay. So the next question is, what are you looking most forward to experiencing when your baby is born? So I took a few notes on this because I'm excited about a lot of things. I'm excited for birth. Like labor sounds scary, obviously, but I'm excited to meet my baby. I'm so excited for that. And I'm excited for like snuggles in bed, like mom, dad, baby, like us all just hanging out. And that just sounds so fun. Little giggles. And baby giggles make me so happy. Like when babies throw their heads back, it's the cutest thing. And just like all the developmental milestones, getting excited when they roll over, getting excited when they start holding their head up, getting excited when they start walking, obviously. Like these are really exciting things. And it's an interesting thing. So I was saying to Jacob that it doesn't feel like I'm so excited for this pregnancy because we want a big family. So it feels like I'm so excited for this stage of our life to start. Because it's like I recognize that I'm going to have, please God, with God's help, many pregnancies. So it's like I'm looking forward to now is the time that we are like starting this process. It's not like, oh, pregnancy number one, or like if we were only having two kids, this is pregnancy, well, my first pregnancy and my last pregnancy. Since we want a bigger family, it's more like, okay, this is the time of my life where we're having pregnancies and babies. And that's really, really exciting. I'm so excited. And I'm so excited for dressing the baby. I think that's going to be so cute. And one thing that I didn't mention, but I'm so excited about, is the bris, the brit milah, which is the circumcision. We are having a boy, so we do a circumcision. That's a very important ritual for Jewish Orthodox Jews. And that is like something I'm obviously not looking forward to the baby being in pain at all, nothing like that. But I'm so looking forward to like him being brought into the nation of Israel and being in that covenant with God. That really is exciting to me. And I just can't wait to like make him a son of God and Jewish. And that's like really, really exciting. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. What's the next one? Best motivation to be the classic woman who kills it in the kitchen. I just don't care for cooking, but wish I did. So I got that message and I thought that was so funny because I totally get it. I have my whole life been somebody who's like, okay, I need to make dinner the fastest way possible, shortest amount of steps, get it done. I don't like cooking. I just like it when the food is on the table. But I've recognized that so much of housework and homemaking can be viewed that way. And I want to be more intentional and deliberate and enjoy my tasks and roles. And so one of the ways to do that is by learning to love cooking. So how do I learn to love cooking? The thing that I've been thinking about is, well, there's a few different ways. Learning to cook, asking my husband what he'd like so that I get that like really excited response when I make something he likes, and something that I like so that I'm enjoying it too. And making the whole experience feel special. So putting on music or listening to a podcast or an audiobook and like using it almost as me time. I think that that's really what it comes down to, is if you view it as me time, where yes, you're doing something for other people, but you're getting to take that time for yourself. I think that's what makes it enjoyable and doing something creative. So making something new and making something different, or going into your old recipes, which can also sometimes be like a family connection, because usually old recipes can be from your grandmother or your mother. It can just make it feel really special and like a special experience. So those are my tips and things that I've been trying to do to make cooking more enjoyable for me. Whew. Oh my gosh. I need to slow down. I'm like out of breath. I only get out of breath when I'm recording. I found maybe it's because it's just me talking for so long. But if I'm just like hanging out around the house, I don't feel, or like talking to Jacob or whatever, I don't find that I run out of breath. But I'm so breathless when I'm pregnant, when I'm recording. Oh my gosh. So I'm just scrolling through some of your comments to see what you guys are saying. Let's see. I mean, I love seeing you guys in the comments. Yes, babies are so cute. I agree. Yeah, so that's really the way that I think of making cooking enjoyable. If that helped, I hope it did. Okay. How should the topic of marriage and kids be brought up when dating a new guy? I'm almost 31 and I've always wanted a family, but college took up a lot of time in my 20s. I don't want to come across as pushy when talking to a guy I'm dating, but I don't want to waste time on someone who isn't on the same page as me. It seems like a lot of guys, even if they share similar religious political values as me, have the let's just date and see what happens attitude. I'm not wanting to get married right at this second, but I would appreciate it if the getting to know you phase of dating could be intentional. So, dating is hard. Dating is definitely hard. And I remember the times that I felt like, oh, I don't necessarily want to bring up something too soon. But a guy who's on the same page as you will want to have those conversations early. So you are going to, and I don't think that it needs to be like awkward. Like you sit down at dinner and you're starting to eat and you're like, so when do you want to get married? I think that it can be a lot more natural in the conversation. I do think that it can come up in the conversation 100%. I mean, I just imagine that when you're talking to someone you're dating, like that's an important thing that will come up. So saying something to the effect of, yeah, I always have valued marriage and children, instead of saying like, I want to get married in 2 years. You can say something like, yeah, marriage is really important to me and my family. I love seeing my siblings married, if your siblings are married, or my girlfriends. And, I look forward to having a family. I think those are conversations that, if it scares a guy off that you're having that conversation, like, what is wrong with that guy? I think most men know that women want that. And if the girl doesn't want that, then what is she looking for? And if he's looking for the girl who doesn't want that stuff, then he's not ready to get married. So I think you can definitely have a conversation with sorry, I'm laughing at that comment. I'm glad you like my earrings. I think that saying, marriage and children are just a natural part of what dating, like what my life should look like and what dating leads to. I think that's okay. And if the guy is scared off by that, I think that that's like not a good sign that the guy is like going to be a good fit for you. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to come up on the first date if you feel like, okay, it really didn't come up naturally. But within the first 3 dates, I think it's good to come up, because yes, you want to, maybe the first date can be like a chemistry date, just seeing if you guys get along and get and have like a good rapport. Rapport? I think that's right. But by the second date and the third date, you can start to develop feelings pretty quickly, especially if you have like good chemistry with someone. So taking the time to actually explore those important questions, I think, is really important. And I think obviously that. So I just think letting it come up in the conversation naturally is going to be your best bet, because it will. I don't see it not coming up naturally. I think that there are ways that you can sort of steer the conversation in that direction, even if it's just by asking, oh, clever, like, oh, do you have any siblings? Are they married? Then you've opened the door to talking about marriage a little bit, even if it's not like a direct, like I said, when do you want to get married? When do you want to have children? All of a sudden, you can be like, oh, your sister's married. How's that? Yeah, my siblings are married too. And that's very easy to go from that point to, what do you want for your future? I hope that helped. Okay, let's see. What did some people say? When I first met my husband, I made it clear I wanted to get married and have kids before we even officially started dating. It was so exciting to find we were on the same page right away. I get it. Like, if you can do that, 100%. You shouldn't wait too long to ask. Ever, but like, if you can say it right at the top, I mean, more power to you. Fantastic. I would bring it up in a that's important to my future conversational kind of way. That way you're making the statement without necessarily being pushy. Yep, that makes sense to me too. I think that makes sense. Okay, so let's see what else we've got here. What are your favorite Christmas movies and Christmas songs? So if you guys don't know, I am Jewish, so we don't celebrate Christmas. But I always say it's kind of like rooting on your friends from the sidelines. Like, I'm on the sidelines being like, I'm so happy everyone's having such a good time. And I get to enjoy the music and enjoy the movies and enjoy the lights and enjoy everyone being in such a happy, fun mood. Like, that is great. And I enjoy that a lot. So I do love Christmas movies and I do love Christmas music. I fell in love with White Christmas last year. I'd never seen it before. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'd never seen it before. And I fell in love. It is fantastic. So I'm hoping to watch it this year, maybe with Jacob's parents when they come in to visit, because I really like it and it is so much fun. I consider Die Hard to be a Christmas movie. I know that's controversial. And also, I recognize that it's like, it's obviously got a lot of swearing in it. It's not appropriate for children, but Die Hard is a great movie. I don't think anyone can dispute that Die Hard is a great movie, and I love it. And it happens during Christmas, and it's fantastic. It's a Wonderful Life, amazing movie. It is just so moving and meaningful. And I feel like every kid needs to watch it. I feel like every kid needs to see that movie. Such a good movie. And then I'm looking at my list here. I also recently saw Home Alone for the first time. Never had seen that. Very cute movie. And that one, I want to watch Home Alone 2, like Lost in New York or something. I've never seen it. Let me know here. Have you seen Home Alone 2? Should I watch it? Is it worth my time? And then we've got some songs. So the Christmas song by Nat King Cole. I will listen to Nat King Cole sing anything. I love him. So Nat King Cole singing the Christmas song is one of my absolute favorites. Super fantastic. And then Silver Bells. I love it. It's so pretty. And then you've got Sleigh Ride, which is so much fun. I love Sleigh Ride. Really great song. Always have to have my Christmas music playing like all December because I don't get to listen to this music the rest of the year. It's so good. Whew. Okay. So we are getting close to the end. We've only got 2 more questions. So let's start with this one. You say your motto is classic living and traditional values. What does classic living mean to you? So I want to explain this because I think people may not understand, right? I always am talking about let's be classic. So what does classic mean? Well, classic and traditional are like 2 sides of the same coin. They're similar. They go hand in hand. But I think this, for me, what I mean by classic living is we live in a day and age that has this you do you mentality and this live your best life mentality. And I think that is a terrible way to actually live your life. I think that living your life, the best way to live it is in a classic way where you're trying here. I can tell you what I wrote down here. Embracing your family, taking pride in your home, dressing your best, trying to better yourself. I think that doing the things that will give you a more intentional, deliberate, good life is classic living instead of this you do you mentality, which often leads to people feeling more unhappy, leads them to make worse decisions. No, that is not classic living. Classic living is making good life choices and living with a deliberate intentionality that will actually lead to better outcomes. Embracing faith, family, and community. Those are very classic ways to live. Taking care of yourself, exercising, eating healthy, putting effort into your appearance. All of that stuff is classic living because it means that you are doing your best to be grateful to God for the life that you have, right? Because life has value. So classic living is recognizing that life has value and you don't want to take it for granted. And it's not about wasting it, and you're finding meaning and fulfillment in the best, most positive ways. So that is what classic living means, in case you were wondering. Okay. Last but not least, someone asked, do I know Jordan Peterson? Personally, I do not know him. But I have met him once, but I do not know him personally. I really like Jordan Peterson, though, as a thinker and as an author. I've read both of his books, or rather, I've read his first book and I started his second book. I'm still kind of working through it, but I loved his first book and I really like what he talks about. So yes, I think that he and I would probably agree on a lot of this stuff. I'm really glad everyone here is telling me to watch Home Alone 2. I would definitely do that. And as to the question, would I ever celebrate a secular Christmas? The answer is no, because I don't think that Christmas should be secular. I think that Christmas should be a Christian holiday, and it is a Christian holiday, and that's your guys' holiday. That's beautiful. So I don't want to cross that line. We have Hanukkah. You guys have Christmas, and that's fantastic. What advice could you give to a girl who is trying to navigate dating but isn't making any headway? I totally get that too. Dating, like I said, it's really hard. So we're going to just briefly touch on this because this is a very open-ended question and I could say a lot. But I always think the most important thing is take a look at yourself first. This is actually a Jordan Petersonian sort of idea, right? The idea that like clean your bedroom before doing other things and like trying to save the world. You got to deal with yourself before you deal with other people. Take a look at yourself when you're dating to see if there is something else that you can do to improve your end of things. Because sometimes it is on you and you don't even know it. Sometimes it's like you're putting up barriers or you are addressing, you're attracted to the wrong kind of guy. It's really important to start working on yourself first. For example, when I was dating, I would often start off by telling people I'm an opera singer. It was like a challenge. Like, if you're going to date me, you need to accept that I'm going to be on the road all the time and I'm going to be singing and I'm not going to be like available. Well, as you might imagine, that was not the most conducive to getting like good guys interested, because they were like, I want a woman who's going to be around, who's going to want to like be part of my family. You know, these are things that make sense that a guy would want. And I think it scared away a lot of guys that I could have dated because I was so like intense about that, rather than approaching guys and kind of treating my job as my job. And clearly it was flexible, because when I met the right guy, when I met Jacob, my opera singing career was not as important as our relationship and our family and my mission. So that was something I needed to work on. If you guys feel, or if you feel like you are struggling in the dating arena, start by looking inwards. Start by figuring out, are you putting up walls? Are you putting up barriers? Are you putting yourself in good situations to meet the right guy? Are you attracted to the right kind of guy? Are you turning away other people? That I think is really important to examine. And it might take a little bit of effort on your part, or asking people you trust and who you won't get mad at if they can help you with it, help you recognize those bad impulses. But it is important. And I think you will find you will have more success as you improve yourself, which is a part of classic living, right? Thinking about how you can make yourself a better person. And by doing so, get the results and outcomes you want. So that is it for today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm loving these comments. You guys have been awesome. This is fantastic. So I really appreciate you all being here. If you would like to submit questions in the future and get access to a ton of exclusive content, my weekly article, my book club, my podcast, definitely consider subscribing to my Substack. It's classicallyabby.substack.com, and you will get all of that exclusive content for $7 a month, or you can get it for the whole year and get 2 months for free. So definitely check that out. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.